Libra, big reading for you so far. 3 major arcana cards in a row. August is jam-packed with soul growth. The 23rd of the month is when this all starts to break and the clarity finally comes around what you've been dealing with. You have really begun to process. I believe many of you are already moving past this heavier devil card energy that's been showing up for you in July, August. I'll go deeper into these cards and pull more, see what's been going on. But the devil card energy, well, look, it speaks for itself. It's dark here, right? It feels heavy and oppressive, and you've been giving your power away to something and you know it. Or maybe, Libra, you are dealing with 3 of Swords at the bottom of the deck and the Star card. Okay, so the healing is already kind of taking place here, but you have been dealing with looking at yourself in the mirror and accepting and feeling the weight and density of some of the choices you've been making or the consequences of actions. But what are we here for, Libra, if not to make these mistakes or momentarily give our power away so that we can be liberated? The devil card energy, much like the Hermit and the Emperor that's coming up for you soon this month, is really here at a time when you're ready for it. These are major arcana cards, 22 in the deck. They're the soul growth times, and they wouldn't appear if you weren't ready to experience this. So the devil card energy recently could have looked like you feeling powerless to something, be it an addiction, be it to a self-limiting belief, be it to a realization, 3 of Swords, that people suck. Or maybe you have upset somebody and you've had to realize that. Maybe you've let someone down, maybe you've let yourself down. That can be tougher to move through, but the rewards are great, right? The Hermit card, so around the 23rd of August, or at least by then, the Sun moves into Virgo, and the Hermit card associated with Virgo begins to mark the turning point around you understanding why that all happened. The Hermit card is a very introspective card. You may feel more drawn to go inward, and you may want to engage in some more spiritual practices such as meditation, so that you can quiet your mind and begin to understand yourself a little deeper. You may have to even temporarily take yourself out of a situation. You may have to say, hang on a minute now, ego. There's plenty of time for your egoic desires once you get into the end of August and go towards September. The Emperor card, like, that's just so bright and clear now. It's already beginning to clear up by mid-August, but by the end it's crystal clear. You see it all clearly and you feel empowered again. You have your full power back. And this is when you will maybe start saying things like, I'm going to go buy this new car. I'm going to go and make some money today and do all of the things. Yes, do all of the things. Do what you want. However, you may just have to say, shush, ego, I need to do some soul work right now. So we're going to just have to put all those great plans on hold for the moment, because you need to go within and figure things out. Why did this all happen? And what are you learning from it ultimately? What was the wisdom gained? There has to have been something, and we'll get into it. Let's start pulling these cards. The Star card, Aries energy here with the Emperor card. We do have the healing energy of the Star, of course, but it makes me think of Chiron, which has just stationed retrograde in Aries. And Chiron archetypally is the wounded healer. So the wound is something that we go through our life working with, our Chiron wound, individual to each birth chart. And through that process, we begin to cultivate the ability to heal others with that similar wound. So you may have to take yourself out of the equation, the friend group, the frontward facing role that you provide for a moment, just so that you can have some quiet time with yourself this month and start to accept what the wound is and how you are going to start integrating healing. Let's get into the Devil card. What has this been that you've been dealing with, Libra? I'm putting this like late July, the beginning of August. Just take what resonates when it does. Time and energy, I make an intention at the beginning of that to keep that very fluid in this reading. So we have got the 5 of Swords, difficult. The Son of Wands, fast and difficult. Maybe feels sudden, maybe feels like it hit you like a ton of bricks. You didn't necessarily see it coming, and For some of you, it's been self-sabotage, and you know, when you sit back and reflect on it, the Five of Swords, of course, can be a perpetrator, okay? It is some sort of a dishonorable nature with this card, like this sort of, I don't know, like this poor worm just like been hacked in half. Why? It's so harmless. Like, why did it need to be so violently slaughtered like that? The idea is sabotage, and we can sabotage ourselves a lot, or of course, people can sabotage us. So something of that nature took place, and it maybe hit you like a ton of bricks, and the Son of Wands is just how quickly it maybe manifested in your life. And one day it was all tickety boo, you were just like on top of things. Nine of Pentacles, everybody was admiring how well you're doing. People were saying things to you like you've never looked better, and all of a sudden then something took all that from you. Maybe you were afraid of the success that you were starting to generate. Maybe a new relationship came through and you showed some sort of a personality like malfunction or something, or you know, one of your toxic traits. And they were like, uh-oh, ran a mile. Or you maybe have ghosted somebody like that either, Libra. But it took you off guard anyway. And the fast and nasty nature of this probably hasn't been pleasant, okay? But we move. We're going to go deeper and see what the lesson actually was. And by the 23rd of August, that's when it starts to light up again. And you begin to take your power back and feel like yourself again, and feel like you're going in the right direction. There could have been a shift around relationships for you recently. There is going to be a full moon in Aquarius, conjunct quite a somber and serious planet Saturn, and that is going to be, well, the moon is the mood and Saturn is kind of an old grump. So you may just be feeling a little more serious, and it just isn't super lighthearted, okay? But it's here for you to kind of like ground down into reality, and really face up to what's been going on in your life, and yeah, be facing up to that. The other thing is about that, we're talking about relationships as Saturn is moving through Aquarius, okay? So it's kind of talking about structures and what's built to last for you. What have you been building to last? And it's coming up around relationships. Funny we think about the car. I thought of a car earlier. The Chariot I sometimes think as a vehicle for like us as the vehicle, bringing ourselves to the next level in our life, but also perhaps literally a vehicle, something coming up around a car. This would have been like a dodgy salesman. That could be the energy that you've been dealing with. And if not, maybe some of you are considering getting a car and that has been your desire and your goal perhaps. So let's go a little deeper. What's coming up around the 11th of August for Libra, in around that full moon in fellow air sign Aquarius? In fact, if you have your sun in late stages of Libra, this Saturn and full moon conjunction on 11th of August is going to actually be making a very helpful supportive trine aspect to your sun, where you can start to envision long-term plans for what way you want to express yourself, or perhaps you reach a turning point around the 11th on the full moon where you can see how far the structures you've been building based on what your identity strives to be, or what you're basically wanting to create your identity around. So the Four of Cups. Okay, so we're beginning to get into this sort of somber, moody mood, okay? This is the moon in Cancer, not Aquarius, but a Cancer moon is more of a moody moon sometimes, and this could be when you start to Libra, become a little more introspective. So from the 11th to the 23rd of August, it seems like the desire is to go within and really contemplate. It's not super comfortable. The Four of Cups isn't like something that we're like, yay, I can't wait to be in this energy. I can't wait to walk into my kitchen and see a rat sitting on my new champagne flute. but it's something that's necessary sometimes, just to be a little disgusted, just to kind of be disgusted with ourselves every now and then and be like, oh, how did I waste that time? Or what the hell was I thinking? So you're a little bit like grossed out by something. You could be just, saying you're disgusted with yourself is pretty strong, but I don't know what other way to put it because I'm looking at the rat here. So it's like, it's the wake-up call. It's the realization that it's been unhealthy, and the devil card is unhealthy sometimes in the Four of Cups. It seems to be like you want to wash yourself from this. Like you really want to just not kind of I don't know, like punch that person in the face, right? Yourself, and I don't recommend you do that, and I'm not condoning violence. But anyway, the Four of Cups is just you kind of saying like, okay, that is gross. I'm not going to like pretend I don't know about that or ignore that. I'm going to really sit with that. So the full moon on the 11th lights that up for you, and Saturn is there with that full moon, just been like, yep, daddy's here, and we're putting you in the corner for a stern talking to. All right, let's look at the Hermit card a little deeper. And I am seeing this energy come up around the 23rd of August, but we're going to have a look at what you're learning from all of this. You've been on the naughty step maybe, or you've had to put somebody there. The Ace of Cups in reverse. So that's a connection that is kind of drifting at this time. You think someone's not interested in you. You think somebody couldn't be bothered with you. You're feeling very withdrawn from somebody, or they have kind of taken a step back from you. So the lesson around this month is looking at the implications or the ramifications of those dense consequences that are being experienced recently by you on your relationships, your close and relationships with the people that you love and care about, or really admire or respect, and they have maybe taken a back seat, like the real ones. You maybe have not been able to see who those true connections are in your life, and maybe it's because you upset somebody, or you allowed somebody to upset you, and it just got messy, a relationship, and that's where there's going to be some lessons coming up around, I think, for you. We'll go deeper. So the emotions in the middle of the month, it's no surprise. August is a transformative month from the get-go, but that full moon is pretty intense and serious. So you have to just really get real with yourself. We all do. That is a joint transit. So the Six of Wands and the High Priestess and the Mother of Cups. A little bit of tender, loving care, like during this time where you just kind of have to take a step back from your perhaps social calendar, or how much of that energy, that extrovert energy you have. You need to I think you're being called to bring a little bit of that energy inwards at this time. The Six of Wands, however, something does take off for you that maybe you have been having like doubts about. You've been saying like, oh, well, look, everything's just messed up at this time. I bet this won't go ahead. Actually, when you start to go within, and you even start to forget about that goal, that's when, as it goes, right? That's when that starts to ramp up, and people want you for something, or people are coming to you. So you don't even have to go looking. People come and get you for it, and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, wasn't even thinking of it. Now I'm so ready. So there is a victory for you around the 23rd, and not just the victory of learning the lesson and understanding why. It seems like in an external level too. Now, the Mother of Cups and the High Priestess, that's that Cancerian energy we were talking about with this moon in Cancer energy. So what's really happening here is that, I guess, the moon won't be in Cancer until almost the end of August. So I guess that could be when you really truly understand, and when you extend a bit of love to yourself, and you extend yourself a bit of grace. You're only human, and you take yourself back into your own loving arms. That's on the way to the Emperor. The Emperor is this very masculine yang energy, whereas the High Priestess and the Mother of Cups is extremely different to that. It is the yin, of course, so the opposite. So what will that look like? Okay, so before you go out and be bold and be brave and be like, ha, yes, warts and all, been through the wars, let your enemies just like drink the the sweat off of your accomplishments and your kind of work that you've done, and you feel very badass towards the end of the month. So I'm basically seeing that I think it's going to be around, forgive me if I'm wrong, I think it's going to be around the 23rd actually, when the moon is in Cancer. So it's really around that turning point where you love yourself, warts and all, despite everything that's happened. You forgive yourself, you forgive other people, and you're ready to move on now. So it's one final little nurturing of yourself, quiet time alone, whatever you need to do. And then we're going into Emperor energy by the end of the month, going into September. Very fearless at this point, because hey, you faced the fears. You've kind of, it could have been the sum of all fears, and you couldn't see this coming, or it happened very suddenly, and this could have been something that, you know, you were anticipating on some level, and then it happened, and then you still love yourself, and then you still forgive yourself. Well, watch out, world, because that's a very strong person coming out of all of this. The Emperor card. So how are you expressing this energy by the end of the month? Cancer people, you may be dealing with, Aries energy too. Consider subscribing, Libra, if you like this video or want to support this channel. The Seven of Wands, very powerful, and the Six of Cups. Okay, there's something enjoyable for you at the end of the month, I think, to look forward to. Some sort of a celebration with family I'm seeing, or chosen family. That actually looks lovely. Now, there may be something of an emotional nature there that comes up. It looks nice, but it wouldn't surprise me that there's a few tears shed, even if they're happy tears, or you haven't seen someone in a while and you maybe need to say, you know, offer your condolences to somebody, or something comes up, and it actually is like, Libra, somebody is just dying to talk to you, and you may find yourself comforting them, wiping a few tears away, and just being a container for somebody else's experience at this time. Anyway, back to the Emperor card. Seven of Wands, like seriously, the haters can't keep you down. The Six of Wands and the Seven of Wands. Okay, so that external situation that you're not even really thinking about anymore, that kind of really starts to come to fruition, or like it's starting to be definite for you. And then it's really like a case of like the haters being your motivator with these cards, because this just kind of fuels this fire in you to prove yourself right, prove people wrong, whatever your motivation is. It is a little more egoic, but that's okay, because we can be in our ego. We can then tell our ego to park it. Hopefully we do that frequently enough that we allow ourselves some soul growth at the same time. But be confident that your time to shine comes at the end of August, and there is like a very strong motivation here. And maybe for some of you, the Emperor and the Six of Cups and the Mother of Cups, this is very family oriented, or laying down roots, or settled energy, very much mom and dad energy, or just like that. I don't know, it just seems like apart from everything, there is like this returning to home, or like returning to the home within yourself, or feeling at home again. Have a great August, Libra. See you soon.